This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, Enlightened Excited Eddie. Joining me for this special edition of Pow Block, since our boss man is away for this episode, I got the poetic and pleasant Patrick from the Boss Rush Podcast, After Dark, and Video Game Book Club. Hello Patrick, hi, welcome to Pow Block.
Hey, thanks Eddie. Now, you did say that the incriminating evidence you're holding against me is going to be destroyed at the end of this podcast, right? That was our agreement.
I did not sign any contract. I don't know anything about any NDAs. Leave it at that.
Pat, blink twice if you're being held against your will.
And everybody, if you heard that lovely voice, you know it's the Doc Kukara, the one, the only, our alumni from Crossroads, Mr. Austin Campbell. Hello, Austin.
Hey,
welcome.
How's it going? It's been too long. I haven't recorded anything in like a year. This is
I don't think since Harry Potter it was like Harry Potter book club, right?
Yeah, Harry Potter's book club was probably the last thing I recorded. So yeah, that's over. Been over a year ago. So yeah, I was very excited when I got the message from Ed. I was like, yes, I'll be there. I'm going to be there.
Yes. Yeah, because me and Austin, everybody, Austin had a podcast and we had a good one. That was a good discussion.
Oh,
yeah.
It goes just as every conversation me and Ed have, long and crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, everybody, like I said, Corey is away. Also, it's been a while, since people heard from you, seen from you. What's been up? What's been going on?
Oh man, I've just turned into like and if you're, I don't know if we're doing video now. I don't know if this is I've turned into like a homeless vagabond, basically. I haven't been on podcasts. I haven't done any content creation. I've just been working and then playing a lot of games and just, I don't know, just doing whatever. So, but I've been listening to Pow Block, of course, every week since listening to the Boss Rush and After Dark. I'm always a fan. So, but as far as what I'm doing, I'm just kind of being me, honestly. I'm just kind of doing whatever I want to do.
Awesome. And Patrick,
Yep.
What have you been up to? I know this is kind of like a debut for you since you've never been on Power Block. What's been up?
Yeah, for like almost 4 to 5 years we've known each other. You have never invited me to Pow Block.
Because you know what? I've never known your schedule. I know you've been doing a lot of stuff in your area. So
that is true.
I didn't know, like, do I reach out? Like I don't know how busy you are in life.
Yeah. You know what? I make time for my video games, so we'll put it that way. But I'm doing all right. It's actually been a very crazy week here in Milwaukee. We just recently had the Republican National Convention.
Oh, that crazy mess.
Let me tell you, Milwaukee really did look like a fortress. It was interesting. They got all these like iron fences up and concrete barriers and checkpoints and snipers all over the rooftops, and it's kind of crazy. For a moment I thought they were actually building a cage to keep the people in there, but like I wasn't going to go in there to find out because I thought that was a trap. So
I mean, it could be a David Koresh type thing. It could be it could be they're trying to keep him in there.
yeah, but other than that, it's been a relatively chill summer for the most part.
Oh, nice. Well, I know for me, everybody know my journey with working, going to different stores and all of that. But I've actually kind of, just bearing this heat, just like, oh my goodness, it's been so hot in my
Yes.
era. And I've literally just went to like, so forgive me everybody, t-shirt and boxers like for bedtime because it's been so hot, like with no covers, just having the fan blown me, just
Mm.
like it feels like it's been like in the 90s or getting close to the hundreds at night. So definitely we've been looking forward to rain, but when it rains here, it rains for like 3 to 4 days, and whatever you don't get, Pat, we get. and and,
I
and vice
always
versa.
dismiss it because I'm like right at the north part of the storm. Like
Mhm.
it's like, oh, finally we're getting some storm, and then it just starts going south to you. And it's like, damn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because also you don't know, like I think a year or two, like Wisconsin had like a tornado, like or
We've had several tornadoes this year. We had a tornado in February this year. Like our
really.
tornado, yeah, our tornado record. We're pretty high on our tornado record this year.
So why
Yeah,
has it not hit us?
Are you sure? Like I thought I heard O'Hare just got a tornado like last week.
If they did, it missed like the Gurney
Okay.
area, like literally it missed a lot of us, because when I see it like raining and like
Mm,
tornado uh alarms and stuff going off, I'd be like, everybody get prepared, and then just nothing happens. It's just a bunch of wind and rain. So
mhm,
it's like nothing like really major. Like even our lights and stuff don't go out. It's like nothing happens. But sometimes I guess they get it sometimes in Chicago, like you said, or here.
mhm.
And I'm like, how the heck did it miss us? Did it go all the way around? Like I normally think they would come to Gurnee and go through like North Chicago and like Lake Forest and stuff. But no, it
Mhm.
just be missing us.
I feel like the closer it gets to a lake, the weaker it gets. You have that lake effect that's like canceling it out almost.
Hmm.
I feel that's
you
my
know,
guess, anyways. Just because in the city we don't typically get much in tornado weather. In Milwaukee, it's usually like 20 minutes out west is when the tornadoes start coming about.
mm-hmm. Well, and you are the Windy City, Ed, so it's just one big tornado all the time. I see.
Hmm.
That is true. Yes.
Well,
Um.
and the Twisters movie came out today, time of the
Yeah, I want to
recording
see
of
that.
this. So, uh,
It's the sequel to Twister, right?
Yep,
mhm.
technically.
Okay.
Happening in my state, Oklahoma. We just love our tornadoes here. It's my wife's favorite movie is Twister. So
It's a good movie. But
Yeah,
you know what?
man, it's
Yeah,
been a while.
here Eddie and I are talking about tornadoes, and honestly, the highest we get typically is like an F3. You're the ones that get the F4s and fives.
yeah, yeah. We actually, I mean, I don't know. The biggest one that we had really near us was just a town to the north of us in Barnesdale, Oklahoma. I mean, just a very small, and that tornado was huge. And it started from the lake that's in my hometown, and then it started heading towards this way, and then eventually just kept moving north and north. So it missed us, but yeah, we're all. I think everyone's on the high list as far as like tornado records go, but we
Mm,
were way up there. Like we were like double our amount by like April. By the time we got to April, we were already double the normal rate that we were
Hmm.
in April. So
yikes!
it's crazy. It's been wild. So
I
I
would literally be scared to go through a tornado. Like the first thing I'm grabbing is my Switch and the Pro controller and my shoes. It just going downstairs. Uh, so well, you guys, how about we get into some housekeeping, because we got a show. We actually got a answer to something that Nintendo kind of teased last week. So let's get into this housekeeping. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and our other podcasts, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRush Network. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like the new exclusive pre and post shows, actually the post shows for Pow Block, voting rights for Spoilercast, and video game book club, exclusive question threads for Spotlight Podcasts, early access to After Dark, and more. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us. Subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or even if you don't, leave us a rating and a nice review on those platforms. You can find all of our banters, features, listicles, reviews, and more on our website, bossrush.net. So you guys know what time it is. It is time for, and you know, we got the Midwest in the house with Milwaukee and Oklahoma. Snacktendo!
Oh,
If
cool.
if the Midwest knows anything, it's how to snack. That's for sure.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, we're gonna start with you. What you been snacking on?
Well, I have a bag of peanut butter M&Ms, but that's just normal snack. I would say the most interesting thing I've eaten within the last week was McDonald's just released a new McFlurry, the Kit Kat Banana Split McFlurry.
Oh,
I seen that and I haven't tried it yet.
Yep. You know, I've been digging their new McFlurry creations, but I will actually put this Kit Kat Banana Split McFlurry down at kind of towards the bottom of a good creation, mostly because
Ooh.
the Kit Kat and the strawberry banana crumble, they don't really complement each other. You're either tasting the Kit Kat or you're tasting the strawberry banana crumble. So it's like there's two different things going on in there, and they just don't complement each other. So it just tastes like a whole bunch of sweetness and candy inside the McFlurry. Yeah.
How did you feel about the Grandma McFlurry? That's the one I thought you were going to talk about.
No, I did have that one though, and I actually liked that one.
See,
Like
I'm a
that.
big
I thought it was-
butterscotch fan.
I thought it was okay. I think they threw too much butterscotch in mine.
Yeah.
Like the caramel and the ice cream really went good, and I think if I got less of the butterscotch, it would be a little bit balanced.
Yeah, and I kind of like the butterscotch, so that's more me. I will say my favorite one I think was I think it was called the strawberry shortcake
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago, and that one was just like strawberry crumble. That one was delicious. I wish they bring that one back. But in the meantime, we have the strawberry banana Kit Kat. I
just need them to make a McFlurry and then just dump a strawberry cream pie in there and then just call it good. Just call it good.
I
'Cause I love the strawberry cream pies at McDonald's. Love those things.
They are good. Yes, they are like bomb big. I would say. Like if they don't have any apple pies and they got that one, I go for that one.
I bet you can make them make that for you. Well, I don't. Trying to see if they would do that because the only thing I'd worry about would be breaking the machine.
They'll say the pie
It's
machine.
McDonald's
broke.
when they don't bring the machine.
Yeah,
So,
very true.
all right. Well, Austin, what have you been snacking on? What's been up with the Oklahoma snacks?
You know, I've really been trying to like slow down on snacks, but I got two things I'll bring to the table. One, I went to Costco for the very first time. And let me tell you, there was a lot of snacks in there that I was all about. I found some things called yogis. They were these like fruit candies, but they're supposed to be good for like your it's got like probiotics in it. It's supposed to be good for your digestive system, and they're covered in yogurt.
Mhm.
Those things are delicious. Even if they weren't good for your stomach, I would eat all those up. I would eat all those up. They also had these I'm a big lemon fan, and they
Ooh.
have these lemon biscotti little pieces and stuff like that. and they're
Ooh.
very, very good, very good. Unfortunately, Costco, you have to buy them by the big bag, and so
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, I don't need to be eating all of these, but I can't stop. I need a
And the thing
small
about
bag.
and the thing about the spaghettis, they are so good. You do get addicted to them, and you got to be like, I
Mhm.
gotta stop.
You just gotta stop. You can't do it. You can't keep going. But to bring the real Oklahoma representation, I have to bring something to the forefront.
Ooh.
I don't know if you all have Sonics in your area. They're kind of making their way around. They're getting more popular. So Sonic started in Oklahoma,
Mm.
and they've recently changed their fries to what they call groovy fries. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, they're just crinkle cut fries. That's all right, whatever you want to do. But let me tell you, these are the best crinkle cut fries I've ever had. They've
Whoa.
upped the game. Their
Culver's
Friday.
Culver's wants to have a word with you right
Now
now.
I haven't been to
Oh no,
Culver's.
no,
I
no,
haven't been to
no.
Culver's.
Okay, see, hold on before you even go,
Oh
because I'm
no.
about to put Culver's on blast. Because
Oh no.
Culver's fries is not that good.
It's
Mm.
crinkle.
It
Mm.
I
they
mean, they're not the best. Honestly, my favorite fry is Wendy's, but I can
See,
still go for some Culver's.
now I do like Wendy's fries. I've heard of Culver's. I need to go to Missouri because that's the closest ones to me, so I can go try it.
mm,
Um, but these crinkle cut fries, they're well seasoned. They're not super thick, so it's not like a whole lot of like I don't like really thick fries because I feel
yeah.
like the outside is the best part where all the flavor is. So if you get too much potato in there, it's but these fries, I'm telling you, I used to not think about. Listen, I grew up on Sonic. In my town, that was the only fast food place there was before there was McDonald's. We all have Sonics, so I've grown up on that. I never cared once about their fries. Their burgers are good, chicken's good, fries, whatever. It's not McDonald's fries. It's not Wendy's fries. But these groovy fries, I hope they're here to stay because these are the best crinkle cut fries I've ever had.
I know there's a Sonics that is like a 45-minute drive for me, so I
Mm.
may have to go there and taste it. I'll probably do it Tuesday. Um,
I
I
might have the
recommend
states
it.
only Sonics in my neighborhood, so
Oh wow, I recommend them. I recommend the groovy fries. I mean, Sonic, Sonic's good. That's something I grew up on, but these fries definitely like actually make me want to go back to Sonic more often than I would normally would. So I highly recommend them.
we actually were having a fry discussion at which I'll get to when I get to my Snacktendo, at our local sub place, and my sister and the owner of Lino, this place called Lino's, we were talking about who had the best fries and stuff, and I was just like, man, Checkers slash Rallies probably got
Those
the
are good
best
fries
seasoned
as well.
fries. Denny's got some good seasoned fries.
Denny's.
Um, oh,
Hmm.
Denny's seasoned fries. Who? Some anointings right there.
Hmm. I haven't been to
Some
a
good
Denny's in a long
anointings.
time.
Yeah, they. Denny's is a low key good place. It's a low key spot, like really late at night, and it's not so much like when you leave in the club kind of thing, but like if you got a bunch of friends and you go in and they're empty, most likely what's going to happen is you're going to have a good time, like eating and talking and stuff, not so much playing around, and then unexpectedly it's going to get packed. Like sometimes when you some friends go to an empty Denny's, it start getting packed and they start getting busy, and it's just like a good vibe to see all these different customers come in into Denny's. But they season fries, yeah, fine bed.
Between IHOP, Waffle House, and Denny's, like what's the most popular one in your area? Not like by like who everyone's favorite is, but like who has the most restaurants in your area? Because for us, it's Waffle House. Like that's the one where there's Waffle Houses everywhere.
So for me, in my area we only have IHOP because everything else is local restaurants. So one of the best kind of like local spots is a place called Chuck Wagon, and they do like just like breakfast, like everything is like straight homemade. Their pancakes are like homemade and everything, and it's like one of you literally have to get there early just to get a parking space because it's a big place and everything, but once they open, they get packed right away.
Yeah, ours is a mix of IHOPs and some Denny's. We don't have any Waffle Houses up here.
I wondered because I know Waffle House is more of a southern type thing. The more south you go, the more Waffle Houses as you see. The more fights there are.
So I don't see it. So I went to a Waffle House on my way to Kentucky a couple of years ago, and it's a really cool place. I didn't get to taste their waffles or anything, but their grits would be the bomb big. I hear like Waffle House grits. It's just like nowhere you could get that kind of taste. But I never seen any fighting at a Waffle House.
I've never either.
Like live, I should say.
I've never seen one either. I've definitely seen them online, but I've never seen one in person. I'm not the type of person that goes to Waffle House at 2 a.m. though. Just that's not a scheduled thing for me.
Now, if we had Ponderosa, like a buffet kind of place, then I could probably see a fight, like Golden Corral.
Man,
Ponderosa.
I miss just buffets. Period. I saw something the other day that Pizza Hut's bringing their buffet back.
I've heard that rumor.
I'd be ready. I'll be ready.
I think they're trying to get people into their Pizza Huts because Pizza Hut's been empty for years. Ever since they like downsized.
Pizza Hut, out of all the chain pizzas, is not great. Hasn't been great for a while.
I appreciate their stuffed crust, like being the original stuffed crust, but there isn't much that I appreciate a Pizza Hut other than that.
Yeah.
And I used to actually work for them.
See, Corey gets on me, and Austin, you probably hear that I still enjoy Pizza Hut. It was, to me, definitely in the 80s, it was the spot to get like your pizza and like your little side salads and stuff. But it was always going to the little arcade when you go in the door. So you would play like the Player's Choice games. I would get my 50 cent and play Double Dragon. But I've loved Pizza Hut ever since I tasted it in the 80s. They made a change to formula a little bit, but like my stomach could not stand Domino's, and it didn't get until they changed their whole recipe, and Domino's now became popular that I could eat them and everything.
Yeah, same with me. Oh, sorry.
Same with you too. Same with you.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, Domino's was like horrible when I was a kid.
I had Domino's when I was a kid. I was like, this pizza's actually trash. Like as a kid, I was like, no, this isn't right. But then when they revamped, they really revamped. Like they fixed it.
They like put that garlic butter all over everything now in that pizza. It just amplified it.
Dude, when they did the $5.99 deals, like 2 for $5.99 each, that just blew them, because like who was going against Domino's once they did that? Like nobody was really talking about Pizza Hut. If you had like local pizzas, maybe them, but like chain pizza, you like Uno's was gone, so you really couldn't go there.
Papa John's is way too expensive now. It's like $30 a pizza, and it's like, dude, this is literally fast food pizza, and you're charging $30 for this.
Right, and the only time people were actually getting Papa John's is someone else ordered it, like for a birthday or for a sports event. Like other than that, nobody was ordering Papa John's, and this is even before the owner who should not be named,
Shaq
John
Shaquille O'Neal.
What's his name, John?
Racist remarks and stuff, like exactly, like no one was like really eating any of his places. Like Sbarro's, that's mall pizza, so you kind of had
Yeah.
no choice if you feel like pizza in there. But like that's that brick hard pizza that you can murder somebody with. You know, Quiznos, give or take how you
Wait,
why that
Quiznos
comes
had
in.
pizza?
Yeah, they used to have a pizza sub and
Oh,
everything.
pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, but yeah, once Domino's changed their formula and they gave that price of $5.99 each, everybody was just like, I'm about to order me some pizza and get some Domino's. And it became really hard because once like the college games and stuff were going on the weekend, Domino's was making bank and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Babe, tonight we're not getting the $5 hot and ready at Little Caesars. We're gonna splurge and get the $5.99 at Domino's.
Now, Little Caesars is not. Little Caesars probably depends on where you live at.
It depends. I do like our Little Caesars that's near us. I like
mine's
it.
a ghetto, so that it's
That
seriously
usually means the best one.
No, this is the ones where literally the staff is always in the back for like 15 minutes while you're standing in the front waiting to have someone talk to you, and they look at you and then they just go back to doing whatever they're doing. It's like, dude, take my order.
That's our churches, man. Church's chicken. Every church's chicken down here is so terrible. Every time, it's like, do Eddie? What is this, a front? Is this a front for drugs now? Like, what's going on?
Our chicken spots. So like, Popeyes is always packed. We just got Wingstop like a year and a half ago. So like, that's the only place to like really get chicken because you can't get the Popeyes. Like our Popeyes drive through be so filled, people be blocking lanes.
Dang.
Which is blocking entrances, gas stations, the place to get to Wingstop. Like they be far packed, and I'm like, come on, y'all.
That's like Chick-fil-A here. Like Chick-fil-A, until they started doing like 3-lane drive-through lanes, was like all the way out in the road in the stoplights. It's like, come on, people. Like I like Chick-fil-A, but it's not. I ain't waiting for 30 minutes, and their lines go fast, and it's 30 minutes.
We are getting a Raising Cane's up here.
Oh,
we got it. We got one.
I'm a fan.
We got two of them. We got one in Gurney, close to Six Flags, and we got one close to me, in Waukegan. And I gotta say, it's very disappointing. It's not all that.
Interesting. Okay.
It's the sauce. If it wasn't for the sauce,
I heard the sauce.
The sauce.
I heard about that sauce.
The chicken, honestly, like, okay, the chicken is not well seasoned. It's not really seasoned at all. The breading is nice.
I need you to preach right now.
The breading
so this is a white man's chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
The cut of chicken is really good too. Like they don't even use like tender meat. Like they use even more tender than tender meat. So it's a really well cooked chicken piece. It's just not seasoned. But that sauce is all you need. If you go there and you don't like the sauce, don't even bother going there.
No, exactly.
The fries are okay, but that sauce is what carries it. It's honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely hit it.
Yeah, I just heard so many great things about it, and then I tried it. I'm like, where's the flavor at?
That reminds me, Walmart now has a mock of the chicken sauce from Cane's, and I got a bottle. I finally got a bottle, but I haven't got to try it yet. So if that works, I don't even have to go to Cane's anymore. I can just use my own chicken strips.
Well, I'll talk. You probably heard me talk about this, Austin, but the Jack Daniel's Honey Barbecue.
Oh yes.
If you see it, pick one up.
Now, is it the bottle? Is it the bottle or is it already pre-made?
No, it's a bottle.
It's a bottle. Okay.
I mean, it's already pre-made, but it's a bottle that you could pour. Man, I literally the nuggets from Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, all of it tastes good with that Jack Daniel's Honey Barbecue. I was just like, oh, this might be the sauce of the summer. Like I do still have to try it on hot dogs, but it may be the sauce of the summer.
I will try it, but I'll let you know that I'm very in Oklahoma. We have it's in all the Walmarts. You might even have it in your stores. I don't know. It's called Head Country barbecue sauce. And
Okay.
it's in Walmart's here. I don't know if they're Walmart's, but it's a local barbecue sauce. It's made in Oklahoma, and I've never found anything that beats it. I've tried. Logan brought like a whole bunch of barbecue sauces from Kansas City. He's like, these will be better, and you won't even be able to tell the difference. I'm like, okay, and I said, that's Head Country. I know what that is. That's the one I want. So if you have it at Walmart, Head Country, try it. But I'll look out for this Jack Daniels. I'll look out.
We got a Walmart just 15 minutes from me, so I'll try them out. If not, there's one like in Gurney by Six Flags, and I'll try it there.
Yeah, I don't know if Head Country's gotten big enough around the states yet. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like just carried in the local Walmarts because it's so popular here. Or if it's finally branched out. I don't know.
I'll probably look them. If they got a website, send me the link, and if I could order like a bottle, I'll have it ordered.
Just don't bring me that Sweet Baby Ray stuff. Get out of here with Sweet Baby Rays. Get out of here.
So, can I tell you
with Sweet Baby
Ray? Can I tell you with Sweet Baby Rays, it is good. It's kind of now like a backup barbecue because there's been so many barbecue sauces that came out and that's beating it. So it really just depends, like if it's a backup. Like if you just ran out of barbecue sauce and you got that, it's a good backup. That's pretty much it now.
Give me McDonald's barbecue sauce over Sweet Baby Ray's. Just give me a McDonald's barbecue packet. I'll be okay with that instead.
Well, for me, I finally tried Blue Bunny. And I had the cherry chocolate twist. It's like chocolate ice cream and cherry flavor ice cream mixed together with fudge like in it. It was okay. I didn't really get the cherry flavor. I thought the cherry flavor was gonna be strong, but it wasn't. So I got mostly like the fudge in it was really good. It reminded me of like Hershey fudge, but it was really good. With the fudge, I had their chocolate vanilla, which was also good with the fudge and stuff. They got some other flavors I gotta try, but Pat might know this phrase. And everybody could guess what it is. Blue Bunny will cleanse your soul.
Huh. Interesting.
And when I'm talking about cleanse,
it goes right through you.
It cleanse, cleansing.
You're getting rid of some demons there.
Yes.
So you've never had Blue Bunny at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I don't eat Blue Bunny because if I eat ice cream, it's gonna cleanse my soul no matter what. So I only get really, really good. I pay extra for the good stuff because if I'm gonna make my stomach hurt, I gotta get the good stuff. And Celeste, if you're listening, you know what I'm about to say. Blue Bell ice cream is the goat. Goat.
I want some so bad. I know we've talked about it, and I'm afraid because the thing about it is they don't sell it here, and I know I could order it, but I'm afraid how that would come because it's just like
that works.
Yeah, it's just like because there was like a fudge chocolate cake flavor that she talked about. I'm like, and then they had a banana kind. I was just like, I need this. Yep. Yeah, I was just like, I need this, and it was just like nobody would have it because Pat knows I go to when I come up to Wisconsin. What is that family store that I go to?
Family store. Woodman's?
Yeah. Which one?
Woodman's?
Woodman's, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Woodman's is my spot. Like, And y'all know how much I when it comes to like trying new sweets, new drinks, anything, I always go to Woodman's and everything. Good sushi too. Um, but like I've been when it comes to some of their ice creams, I've been trying all the local Wisconsin ice creams, and
Oh
they've
yeah.
been really good. So it was just like I was looking for that ice cream, and Woodman's never had it. Like, in just no state in Illinois, city. There's no city in Illinois, no city in Wisconsin carry it. And I thought Wisconsin would carry it because of them being the home state of dairy and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
Well,
checking the internet. I show dollar storeable places might have this. Yeah.
Dollars.
Sorry, Dollar General.
Dollar General. Yeah, that's possible too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Man.
We have to make a stop by Dollar General up in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I'll just go visit Pat and Shay and and Jesse.
Now I've just told you a bunch of like, basically I'm just selling Oklahoma food to everyone because Bluebell is also made in Oklahoma. So I'm just shilling out right now. But yeah, man, it's so creamy. It's, to me, like every other ice cream, like the Blue Bunny or anything like that. It just is like, no.
What? It feels like Bluebell just has original flavors that no one else is doing. Like banana pudding, they're the only ones that have it. I've never seen it in anybody else's ice cream flavor.
If either of you are Dr. Pepper fans, they have a Dr. Pepper float flavor, and it tastes straight like Dr. Pepper. Which I'm not a huge Dr. Pepper person, but it straight up tastes like it. And there's the A&W root beer float. There's cookie two-step, which is Oreos and chocolate chip cookie dough in it. There's Christmas cookie, which is a personal favorite of mine. Oh man, it's blackberry cobbler, another one.
Yo, I think Celeste talked about that one.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yes, oh man,
y'all just gotta come.
Your float.
Ed, just come to Oklahoma. My fridge is open. My fridge door is always open to you.
I feel like if I come, I'm gonna end up staying there. I'm like, dang, I gotta get back to Illinois, but I can't drive. I can't drive because I'm so stuck. I'm still stuck. I'm gonna roll out this car. But yeah, so I tried Blue Bunny. Let's say Blue Bunny. And also my sub place Lino's. I had like just a regular ham and cheese. But when man, have y'all ever had a sub, and whether it's local or wherever every place that you get it, that you just finish your sub, even if it's half, and you put the rest in the refrigerator, and somehow you just black out sleep, like you like, that was good, and then realize that it's like 6 o'clock at night and you ate your sub like at 1:30 in the afternoon.
The first thing is I never just eat half a sub. I always get the whole foot long. I always finish it. So I already can't relate to you on that premise alone. But yes, the bread will make you sleepy. I'll get passed out.
For me, if I eat or if I fall asleep right after I eat, I get acid reflux. So that's no for me, bro. I can't do it.
Yeah, I ate my sub, and it was only a 6-inch because I had ate something already, and so my sister was treating me out for lunch, so I was eating it, and the bread is thick, but once you put on that oil and vinegar and it gets soaked in. It gets soaked in that bread and makes it soft and everything. And it's just like, it gushes when you eat the meat and cheese and lettuce and stuff. Man. And they really don't put no like mayonnaise or mustard, or they don't really put any sauce on it or anything. It's up to you if you want all of that on it. I ate that sub and just disappeared into darkness. And I was off all day. And I was just like, I woke up and was just like, stumbling trying to walk. I went to the bathroom, went downstairs, sat on my mama's couch, and went right back to sleep. That sub knocked me out. It was so good. So yeah, everybody. That's our Snacktendo. We're gonna get into our next section, and that's playing with power. Austin, where have you been playing with power?
Oh man. Okay. I'm on a Nintendo show, but I haven't been playing Nintendo a lot.
Get out.
At all. I'm sorry.
Get out.
Huh? That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
You can talk about whatever you've been playing.
Okay. Well, so Nintendo, so PlayStation's usually my main console. That's when I play games. I usually like to sit down and in my chair and get in the big screen and stuff like that. Which I know I can do that with the Switch, but the Switch is kind of like a pick up and play type thing where I'll just like get on there. Usually, I'm playing NSO stuff. Like I've been playing Donkey Kong Country. And Shinobi on the Sega Genesis. Like I've been playing just
Nice.
pick up and play games on the Switch really is kind of what I do. And then of course my wife only plays one game and one game only, and that's Mario Kart 8. So so Mario Kart 8 is like always in the rotation as well. I've been playing several games on PlayStation going through them. I don't know if any of these will interest you, but I've been playing Sly Cooper.
Yes.
It just recently came out. I've
Good-
been
good
playing
choice.
Far Cry 6. I've been playing Tales
Interesting.
Tale of Zenkaru. Am I saying that right? Zenkaru?
Zendara. Wait, you're talking.
Zendara. It was the
Zao?
Metroidvania that EA made.
Yeah,
Zao.
Zao 10 of
Zao.
Kandara.
Okay. So I played through the first act of that. I've been playing Concord, and I've been
Okay.
playing college football.
And I would say this about Concord: it's kind of getting a good reception. With everybody playing like the demo, with it or beta, or like the or trial. It's been getting a good reception. People just wondering, it's a little bit familiar, and they want to know when this game gets released, is there going to be more to it and everything. But they said everything it feels really good.
My worry mostly is, and here's my thing, I haven't pre-ordered it because I don't really pre-order games all that often. But the thing is if I'm going to spend $40 on a game that's online only, I really want to know that there's a fan base there. And unfortunately, I just don't know if it's going to be there for me to spend the $40 on. And if it was free to play, I would be more willing to like jump into it. But I played for probably 8 hours, so got really get into it. I played every character, getting good with certain different characters, and it's fun. It definitely feels kind of like a mix of Destiny like movement and then like Halo, like in Halo when there's like different guns, you're it's not like Call of Duty where it's like you see the first person, you see a person, shoot a person, move on to the next person. Halo, you have like, okay, if I do this or if I jump up here and do this, like you're kind of, you have a little more strategy involved than just aim and shoot. That's kind of what I get from Concord. It's definitely better if you play as a team. Not everybody understands that. People are playing it like Call of Duty. It's not. You gotta play it like Overwatch. The mode I played was just team deathmatch because that's all they had at that point. And then like it's kind of like kill confirmed. It's called trophy hunt in this one, where you have to actually pick up the dog tags of the person you killed to get the point. So, and if you go on by yourself, you will get smoked. If you are 5-on-5 and one person drops out and it's 4-on-5, it's very difficult to win with a 4-person team. It's really difficult to win with a 3-person team. That only happened once on mine. So it has a lot of potential there. I understand the character designs they're not as good as Overwatch. They look incredible. This is like a this is like it looks really good because it's like a PlayStation first party. They want to make the graphics look good, whatever. But to me, I would take the Overwatch more cartoony like characters that are well designed and have interesting things about them. They're all completely different from around the world, whereas in Concord they're just kind of space people. They're kind of humanoid space like people, and it's just like whatever. There's some very good characters. There's some very annoying characters already. But and then balancing issues is going to be that's not a problem to me because those can be fixed. Every team based shooter, every fighting game, everything where there's different characters involved, balancing is going to be something you can fix. But I just I want to root for this game. I almost want to pay the $40 just to support them, but I just don't see the longevity. And as someone who has put 1,000 hours into Overwatch, 1,000, I'm over. I don't want to play 2 anymore. 2 has killed all my pretty much love to play Overwatch now. That I'm looking for a new team-based shooter, and if Marvel Rivals is good and it's free to play and it has characters that everyone already loves, that's probably going to win out. Valorant's already got a fan base, and on PC, so when it comes to console, there's going to be people jumping in. And as far as I know, that's free to play as well. So that'll probably win out. I don't know. I feel like the win here is Concord needs to give it to all PS Plus members for free and refund the people that have already paid the $40 and just start doing battle passes like everybody else. I hate to admit it, but you got to do it.
I have a question for you guys after just hearing this, because this just came to my mind. Who do you think is leading like a multiplayer team battle kind of game out of these three? Halo from Microsoft, Splatoon from Nintendo, or it I probably have to say Destiny now since Sony owns them, because I wanted to say SOCOM, but they don't make them no more. And the only kind of like team based kind of shooting game is, for right now, even though it's Bungie, it's going to be Halo for Sony. Who do you think is leading out of those three?
Destiny.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny's definitely the winner on that one, especially with the recent news on Halo. It seems like Halo's kind of dying in popularity. Splatoon is not my type of game. I think that's totally different, in my opinion, as far as that goes. But I know it's got its audience, but that's not the same type of game to me.
Destiny is a way different play style than Splatoon is, and I think it offers a lot more variety than what Splatoon offers. So I would think Destiny. Also, Destiny has like a 10-year streak going on with its one game, so it's also got the following.
But based on what Corey and what I've heard other Destiny players say, Destiny doesn't care about PvP stuff. So if you're asking for PvP, it might actually be Splatoon. I don't know. I don't know what the Splatoon fan base feels like. I know Halo fan base is struggling, and the Destiny PvP fan base has basically just been screwed for a while.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I brought this question up is because like no one would ever think that Nintendo would get into like team-based shooting or that kind of style of game with Splatoon. It was a worrisome IP when it first started, but then they sold millions of it on the Wii U, and it rose to being one of the biggest shooters for Nintendo, I should say. And I think people couldn't get the grasp of it at first, to be like, it's not about shooting your other teammates. It's about covering areas with your ink. and it's just like, yeah, it's 3 minutes rounds, but people realize that when you get into the groove of it and you're mixing with different people around the world, it's kind of a different experience every time you play. So it's kind of like there's something fresh about it, and I think people didn't grasp that. Where it wasn't about how many times I'm going to get rid of this player for them to come back. Oh, why did we lose? Well, that team covered most of the ground with their ink, so they won by the percentage of ink and not how many people they took out the game.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's different. You could just play Power Wash Simulator though.
Hell yeah.
uh, so, all right, okay, yeah. And speaking of Sly Cooper, it's good that you brought that up, Austin, because a lot of people have been playing it. It's one of those games that people, when it first came out, didn't really give it its props, but somehow it's having like a renaissance now, and people are giving it a try, and they're like really enjoying it.
What sucks is
This
Sly
game.
1 is the worst one, too.
Yeah.
Like, I would love them to bring Sly 2 over so people can actually experience what a really good Sly Cooper game is.
I think we're gonna get
Mhm.
it though. I think we
I
really
hope
are.
so.
I grew up on Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper. I am a PlayStation kid. That's what I grew up on. So these having Sly Cooper and a college football game that I haven't had since I graduated high school come out in the same time period. I'm living my childhood life right now with these two games. So it's I was going full steam on Far Cry 6, and then these two games just is taking over, and I don't even know if I'll get back to it, to be honest.
I had to return to Far Cry 6, and I think I'm gonna have to try to mainline that game and keep the side stuff to the,
Yeah.
because I'm like, that's the
I
thing
think
that
I will
happened to
too.
it. I brought it when I was with Jesse in Appleton, and I played it, and it was just like, okay, I could go for this, but other games started coming out, and I just took it off my Xbox and just like, and just forgot about it. So I think I need to go back because I didn't really like 5.
Yeah.
Um,
6 is good. I mean, it's got a good villain, it's got a good setting. The problem is, it is so freaking huge.
It's
Like,
huge.
each one of those areas is absolutely massive, and eventually you just kind of wear yourself out and, go
I
play something
I
else.
I love 5. 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like I really like 3, 4, and 5, but 5 is one of my favorites of all time because I like cult stuff. I read about cults. I watch cult documentaries, so it was right up my alley. But 5, I probably platinumed in 40 hours. I'm 40 hours into Far Cry 6, and I'm in the first area, like first big area still, and
Mm-hmm.
or barely scratching the surface on the second one. So I'm like, man, I don't know. And to
Yeah, each
me,
area is like 20 hours each.
yeah, and to
So,
me, I no respect. Listen, I love Giancarlo Esposito. I love him,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
but he to me is not a good Far Cry villain. He's a good like Ghost Recon villain, but so far in the
interesting.
story. So far in the story, he hasn't hit like the insane crazy level that I thought all the other villains hit. And maybe
Well,
he
and
will.
He's a different kind of mad though. He's
Yeah,
more the ingenious and like
yeah.
sociopath. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't
Whereas
care about anything else other than him and his own.
that's
and
true.
I think the team at Ubisoft who made Far Cry 3 and put Voss as the villain, like he is the expectation now for the Far Cry series. Um, and it's just like people who talk about villains in that series now compare it to Voss. How crazy are they,
Mm-hmm.
or can they you know over outdo, I should say,
Yeah.
Voss? And
Mm.
for a lot of people, they're just like, no, Voss is still number one.
But then he
I,
came out with 4, and Pagan Min, while not quite
Pagan,
at Voss's level, Pagan was
no.
still a very interesting villain.
Yeah, I really, really like Pagan Min a lot. I think Voss might actually be my third. He's like tied with Pagan for me, which 5 is just the best.
So you're Joseph Seed?
I am
That's your fave?
I love everything about 5 so much. Cheeseburger.
Did you play New Dawn?
No.
Okay.
Because
You need to play New Dawn.
I do. I don't know why I fell off of it, because I did start it, and for some reason I'm like, I know that this is going to connect eventually, but it's not now, and I don't know if I want to go through this at this point.
No, it's I would say New Dawn. Joseph gets what he deserves. It's very poetic.
I need to do that, especially because in Far Cry 6 there's the DLC with him, with Joseph Seed in it, and Boss and Pagan Min for that matter. But I don't know if it's gonna spoil anything for New Dawn, so I've been basically just ignoring that DLC for now. But
I think we probably won't see Far Cry 7 for a few years. I just have a feeling that that's a series. I think the one I know Assassin's Creed is the next one game after Star Wars Outlaws, but I think Assassin's Creed is the next big one. And then if they announce the Division 3, I think that would be like the next one, like the next big Ubisoft game. But Far Cry 7, I don't see it coming back to maybe 26.
Yeah, I know they got two. They got 2 Assassin's Creeds coming out within this year and next year.
Yeah. We won't see Division 3 for a long time.
Seeing what they did with the Heartland, something tells me Division 3 is probably a little ways away.
Yeah.
I would almost predict a Far Cry 7 before a Division 3.
I can honestly say I really don't know what happened in the Division 1 and 2. I think those are games to experience, to have fun shooting with, because I do like that. I do like the Division 1 and 2, but I'm just like, the story is not memorable at all in those games.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I just remember having fun with people. I don't really remember anything about the story.
See?
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is there's a turncoat agent named Mercer that is basically filing up all the gangs and kind of organizing them to attack the government, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, I also should know me very well, but like, when I finally do get my PS5, it better say Ghost of Tsushima 2. That's all to it, because I would definitely get a PS5 for Ghost 2. Other than that, I could wait. I could wait.
I mean, I'm hoping PS5 Pro is a thing and we get Ghost of Tsushima 2 announced with it. I mean, it's coming. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of when.
I really don't think I don't think there's going to be a Pro.
Well, no, I just mean Ghost of Tsushima 2 is coming.
Oh yeah,
we know that for sure is coming.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping that a Pro is coming, so we can get some like big announcements for it, like we did for the PS4 Pro, because that was when like Spider-Man was coming out and all that stuff.
Sucker Punch would be insane to not do it. A Ghost 2.
No, they would be insane not to do another Sly Cooper game.
Yeah, that one sadly got pushed, but it's been confirmed that with the success of the first one, like Sucker Punch was told by Sony, you're making a sequel.
Yeah.
That, man, Ghost of Tsushima, outside of The Last Guardian, Ghost of Tsushima is like my number 2 game on the PS4 era. That game is beautiful, and the way that they introduced, I'm like, this puts a lot of games to a shame. Like, I love Paper Mario, the Origami King. Trust me, I love that game.
We know you
fights
do.
about that game. But I literally had to put that game aside so I could finish Ghost of Tsushima. And I was just like, this game is just too drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is it running on this system? Same way that I kind of feel like with Series X with Hellblade 2. Just like, this game is gorgeous. Why no other game is looking like this? Like, y'all Ninja Theory Cloud with Unreal Engine 5. I'm like, oh, y'all put this much at a very high level.
Yeah.
For this engine. Now, when I found out Nipsey you did Unreal Engine 4 with Pikmin 4, I was just like, oh, y'all gonna be a fool. If y'all continue to use Unreal Engine and these developers, oh, y'all going to be a fool with some of y'all games if y'all use Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
A Zelda game in Unreal Engine 5 for the Nintendo team, oh, that's about to blow folks' minds. To be like,
Hey,
why is this game looking like this on a least powerful system? Why is it running like this? Why is this? Yeah, don't call
I like
Nintendo
to see
out
it.
with Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal Engine.
I'd like to see it. I really would. Anyway,
Still
that's
waiting
that's
for
what
that
I've been
Ocarina of
playing.
Time Unreal.
I want to know what y'all have been playing.
Yeah, Pat, what have you been playing with Power?
Well, I got a lot of games, but the ones I decided to stick with for tonight is I just recently picked up the indie title Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus. It is a Metroidvania in the same lines as a Hollow Knight, mixed in with some Messenger. Actually, it's got a lot of the Messenger in it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
because this game features a hit and reset mechanic. So if you jump and you hit something, you can now jump or dash again and hit something, and you can keep repeating this cycle. So kind of like bouncing off of lanterns or just bouncing off of bad guys. It becomes part of the game's traversal as well. It's one of the better ways to battle. You're a lot slower on the ground versus being in the air when you're fighting bad guys. But this game is absolutely gorgeous. Picture a 2D Akami game. Like it's got that Japanese watercolor scroll uh, background with like effects going on, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Like you want a pretty game. This here is a very pretty game. Unfortunately, like a rose, it has its thorns because this game is also a very challenging game. The platforming is very precise. It doesn't really give you a whole lot of like chances to screw up on, and you got to pick it up very quickly. The whole slash and reset system that it has. But if you're able to do that and get off kind of the island that you start off of and into the mainland, like the game really opens up. It's like I said, this game's beautiful.
Some of
Very
these
pretty.
It's only
screenshots
on
I'm looking
PC,
at.
right?
No, it's PlayStation 5 as well. I thought it was supposed to be for the Switch, but I might have not read that right.
Yeah, yeah. All the platforms, I don't know what it came out for. I know PC was
Yeah.
the one that everybody was talking about, like reviews and stuff. But I didn't see any console releases. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox. Yeah, it's
Some
everything.
of these screenshots are giving me Okami vibes with like the watercolor Japanese picture. It looks really nice.
Yep. No, it like I said, it is a beautiful game. And what's cool is it also dives into some of the lore, some of the kind of Japanese lore and the yokais that are typically kind of famous in Japan for. But it is gorgeous, but it is a hard game. I just want to point that out there. But I am enjoying it so far.
Yeah, they was just
How
like, you gotta really know your parries in this game.
This one actually doesn't parry. There's actually a game called Nine Souls, which is kind of the same similar art style, which is
That's what I'm
more.
thinking
That's
of.
the
It's
parry.
Nine Souls. Yeah.
Nine Souls is the parry one. This one you don't parry. This one is strictly hit and dodge. Yeah. But
how,
also, oh, go ahead.
how many Metroidvanias have you played that have come out this year? Because if I remember correctly, you did play Zao and you did
I did
play
Zao.
Prince of Persia.
Prince of
I
Persia.
did Prince of Persia. I did Metroid Zero Mission this year as well.
Yeah. I finished that last week.
I
But I
played a
beat
little bit of
Metroid Zero.
Ultros. Yeah, I played a little bit of Ultros, which was from Kepler Interactive. That one I didn't really get too into though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to check out Nine Souls. Like there's a lot that I still want to check out, but I would say I've played at least 4 or 5 Metroidvanias so far this year.
I would
But
say it
that's
just
okay.
seems
I
like
like them.
we're getting a lot of good ones. I feel like
Hmm.
Metroidvania we
Mhm.
get a lot of, but this year we've gotten a lot of good ones that
I
are
agree.
that stand out.
Yeah, I did Lunar Nights, um, Castlevania Symphony of the Night,
Hmm.
uh, Metroid Zero Mission, and then I did some ones that was in my backlog that I had and stuff. So I did about 4 or 5. Empress of Persia, I did.
Hmm.
Oh, Animal Well is the one I did too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you can
Animal
throw
Well. That's
Animal
another
Well
one.
onto that list as well. Yeah, there's there's a lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I did pick up a new Nintendo game though this week. I did pick up the Nintendo World Champion NES edition, and
Oh
I
Nice.
yeah.
got the deluxe edition too. So I got the package that comes with a golden cartridge that has a stand, so it's just you can set it up. It comes with a pin set, and these are some really beautiful pins. They're shiny. They're just like, mwah, they're gorgeous. Comes with a lot of postcards that look like old NES box art, and of course, it comes with the game. This game reminds me a lot of the Nintendo Remix, the NES Remix games.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember those back on the Wii and also the 3DS, where they are short little mini games where based off of like mechanics from the original like NES games. There's 13 I think on World Championship, ranging from Mario to Kirby. Um, and the idea is to complete the goal that the game sets for you in a quick amount of time. And then the game will grade you. And with the grade, you unlock some coins, which then you can unlock more speedrun challenges. You can unlock player icons for your like character card, as well as no, it's levels and icons are typically what you unlock with the coins. But some of them, like some of the icons, can cost like over 1,000 coins, and you need to kind of build that up. But the idea is that you play and you just want to try to better yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go all the way up to S rank, and it's like okay. So I did this and I shaved like a couple like a second or two off my time, and it gave me a rank ranging from A now to an A plus or an A plus plus. It's like what else can I do to like shave off some more time so eventually I can get this S rank. Now the S rank obviously is for like the most like almost perfect runs. You don't really need to be that good and able to unlock pins in the game. You just need to beat the level on an A or higher.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenges range from easy, normal, sorry, no, not easy. It's normal, hard, master, and then let everyone has one legendary. And I've only done 2 legendary so far, and they both been speedrun the game. So I have officially beaten Mario in just over 8 minutes now with my through practicing on this game. I've also beaten Donkey Kong in less than 90 seconds.
Oh wow. I can't even do that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm so bad
Donkey
at platformers that I just hearing you say this, I'm like, that would give me so much anxiety. Just like I can't do it.
No, that's the nice thing about it though. It's like I feel like there's a good lead up. Like it starts you off like in the Mario, it starts you off with get the mushroom as fast as you can. And then it could be, all right, well, get all the coins as fast as you can from this. Now you're in the hard stuff and it's like beat world 1-1 as fast as you can. And eventually then you get to that legendary, and it's cool because they give you what they called confidential information, which when you click on it, it looks like something you see out of an old NES instruction booklet. Like it's
Mhm.
got the old character art and kind of like little screenshots with arrows pointing. Now, here's the hint here. Focus this and move over here and jump into this warp tube. Like it shows you the path by path of
Mm.
how to beat Super Mario in 8 levels, as well as where
Wow.
like the you know what are kind of like the techniques you need to like shave, like to shave off some time. That was in the Donkey Kong one. Like I remember specifically a hint saying in Donkey Kong you don't have to be directly on the ladder to climb up it. If you're like within like a half to like 2/3 into the ladder and already pushing up, you save time by starting to climb.
Mm.
So it kind of gives you those nice little hints. But then, of course, like I said, it's always about unlocking those pins. Those pins are gorgeous in this game. It's like an achievement, I guess. But that's just a single player portion. Obviously, what the game wants you to do is it wants you to try their World Championship mode and their survival mode. World Championship mode is where they will give you like 5 levels to play, and you want to post your best score possible in these 5 levels. And then after, I think in this case, after the 23rd or the 22nd at like 4 a.m. in the morning, the game is going to look at all those scores and it's going to rank everyone. It's going to basically rank you by
Oh.
your score and your in your age group, and you can actually earn a pin if you're in the top 20%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I heard that there were no leaderboards and people were kind of freaking out, but it looks like you gotta wait a little bit for the leaderboards to kick in.
yeah. The first competition is like 3 days long. So one like it gives you as many times as you want to practice and lower your score until you get to something you're satisfied, and
Mm-hmm.
then those are the ones that get posted and ranked against everyone else in the world. On the other hand, there is survival mode, which comes in a silver tier and a gold tier, and you're playing against ghost performances of people of similar like styles or a similar, I guess, rank. Or I'm not even sure how they pull it, but you're playing against ghost data, and
Mm-hmm.
your goal is it pits you against like 7 other players, and you have 3 games to play. And the play, like, it gives you what 3 games they are, but the order that they're going to give it to you is going to be random every single time. So it can work out to your advantage if someone really sucks at one game but is good at another. Um, so it gives you that in random. And so the first game, the first 4 players go to the second round, and then the first 2 players go to the third round, and then the first player wins.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins that. Um, and again, you can do them as many times. It will pit you against different people until eventually you can win yourself a cup. Uh, I spent about an hour last night trying to do the gold survival challenge, and I finally got very lucky because the person fell down a pit. And look, if you fall or get hurt, you don't like forfeit the challenge. It just kind of rewinds you back 1 second, but that's still 1 second that
Right.
that's time that's really crucial in the game if you're like trying to speed run. But yeah, it's fun. I see I don't know how like well this is going to do in the future. Like they got to keep up because it's only got those 2 modes online to compare yourself to other players. And other than that, once you get your good scores on everything else, it's kind of one of those games that you just put aside again, which sucks. But right now I'm enjoying it. But it's not something I see myself playing in like 2 months, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Out of the you said there's 13 games on there.
yep,
So out of the 13 games, what do you think is the one that you're the best at?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. That's the
I
one you got
went through
down.
every single challenge in the Donkey Kong game. S ranked every one of them,
Dang.
Nice.
even the legendary at 90 seconds or at like 84 seconds.
That's crazy.
So yeah, but
I
yeah, it's
respect
got
the speed challenge people because I
Mhm.
can't. I just can't.
Well, like I said, that's the nice thing about this game is that you don't have to be a speedrunner. It helps build you up to that by giving you these smaller challenges to like perfect. And then, like these are little small chunks so that you don't feel like you just wasted so much time. You're literally building your skills on like a small part. And then like that legendary thing is like, okay, everything you just did, this is your test now. Use those skills that you learned on those challenges to complete that challenge.
Nice.
But yeah. And then also Power Wash Simulator just came out with the free Muckingham files, an aquarium and a submarine that you get to clean up, and it's fun. I like it.
It's very relaxing.
It's a great game. And every time they come out with new stuff, I have to play it. So
And better than
I'm playing
Splatoon.
that.
Am I right?
A lot more relaxing than Splatoon. Instead of making the mess, you're cleaning it. But that's me.
All right. Well, for me, everybody, I've been focusing more on Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm getting close to the end of this game. I've been spending a lot of time with it. I actually been enjoying it, putting work and focus into that game, because I had it for years. They had the expansions, like the DLC stuff, for like $4 on Xbox, so I got it all. I actually got the copy of the game for Xbox physically when Toys R Us was going out of business. Man, I was snagging games from Toys R Us when we were going out of business. I was just like, I'm not paying for nothing. It's not thievery, everybody, even though it might seem like it, but we were getting rid of games that nobody wanted, and I took a lot of them.
One of the best cover arts for a game, by the way. I love Dragon Age Inquisition's cover art.
I love how that like thing just forms actually into like a dragon. Like the whole like void ray is actually like, if you just back out and look at it a sec, it's actually in a form of a dragon.
Yeah, it's sick. I love it.
Yeah, so I can't wait for Veilguard to come out. Which they did mention that in Dragon Age Inquisition, the Veilguard. I was just like, oh yeah.
And I actually plan on following you. I was going to replay Dragon Age Inquisition for the new game coming out, but it was going to be my next open world game after Far Cry 6, and that's why I've got to get through Far Cry 6. I've got to just I've got to power through.
Yeah, Austin. So, Austin. So I been playing Dragon Age and Inquisition and been learning that game inside out. And shout out to my friend Rick. On Twitter, he's been helping me. I've been DMing him for like questions and stuff. And he's been very expertise helping me get through some things. So I'm definitely enjoying it. Like, and I had to look up some of the armor pieces on how that works. And I found out like, oh, okay, so it's more of number and not by color. So I was just like, okay, I see it. Cool. That makes it easier for me to be able to do this. So, get my character's defense if attack mode up. So it's been pretty good. I've been I think I'm getting closer to the end of the game, but I've been doing so much side quest stuff and getting my power level up to open up new quests. And one of the side things that, even though I don't do it, was just like, it's 18 hours of gameplay. So I got to let that timer run down before I can get one of my people back and open it. So like, but it's been really good. So.
Have you got to any of the DLC yet? Because
not yet.
The DLC. Okay.
No, I'm going through the main game, and then I'm going to go through all the DLC after I finish the main game. So, I'm super excited because, man, that demo for that presentation for Veilguard got me hyped. I'm like, this looks up my alley when it comes to the fighting, because I'm playing as a mage, a Quinari. I'm playing as a mage, but with the fighting looking more fast in this one, I think I'm going to go like with warrior, with this one. So I'm super excited, with that. Last game I'm going to talk about. I finished Coffee Talk 2. Coffee Talk episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. I gotta say, I think I enjoyed this one better than the first game.
Wow.
And everything.
And y'all really talked about the first one.
Yes, we did. Winona, I think it's her name. She's like this banshee who wants to be a soprano. Man, I felt her story. Like, she became one of my favorite characters in this game, and it really pulls a lot from a lot of experiences of like real world things. And I was just like, I was so captivated by everybody's story and stuff. But it kind of felt like at times that some of the characters from the first game, they kind of popped up but then left and were gone for most of the game. Like, the only one who was really from the first game that was in this one is Officer Georgie or Horgie. He's this black cop and everything, and he's on the this case of finding this vandalizer and everything, and you get to find out what that story is. And it kind of really feels like they were going for a new direction and a new story. So shout out to Toge Productions. I can't wait to see them. Hopefully I think they're going to be at PAX West. Hopefully
Yes,
they are.
will be. In fact, the CEO is going to be there. So,
ooh,
we're
yeah.
excited, Chris.
Is what's her name going to be there?
No,
The one that
Lala's not going to be there.
I wanted to thank her for like Coffee Talk. I don't know if she was part of that or anything, but I'm like, man, that gang, like Coffee Talk 2, Coffee Talk episode 2, I really was invested with Benora's story. I really was invested, kind of hearing like the story about this certain tree, um, that had a lot of history to it, and there's still a lot. There's some alien stuff that goes on with some characters, and it truly is funny. And I played this one on Switch, everybody, so there's no problem with it. Like it kind of, I think it works well across all platforms. Like, I didn't have no problem with the loading or anything. But yeah, I really was just invested, and I played it like I beat it in 3 days because I had to do some work stuff. And also Dragon Age was playing a part of it. But like, I beat it in the weekend, and I was going through the stories and just like, man, there's still a lot I could do just to get like the perfect ending and stuff, or 100% in completing this game. But I was just like, man, this, and I'm not so worried about making the coffee and everything. It really is about the story. It really is about the narrative in this game, and it's just so much stronger. And it kind of gave me the feel of like, it kind of gave me the feel like this is a manga comic book in some sense, but it's a good manga that I'm reading with it. Like, it has a Japanese feel to it, and even a little bit of snatcher to it. There's just like this kind of vibe of of being in Seattle, people coming in to talk about their problems and stuff, and you're just invested in where the story goes and stuff. Like, it's really good. So I definitely recommend Coffee Talk episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. I know that people definitely want us to do a talk the walk for it, which would definitely be good for this game. And maybe we'll probably just have a natural conversation at PAX, because I think David finished it. I don't know if Stephanie played it. Um, but I gotta see who all played it, and I just kind of want to have a conversation about that. It's just
Mhm.
like when
No,
you're with a
we
narrative
could
game.
definitely talk to. I could try and finish it before PAX, and maybe we can get Chris involved, the actual one of the writer or the CEO, and
Ah,
possibly one of the writers.
yes,
So,
yes, I would love that. Yeah, and just like yeah, Coffee Talk episode 2. Um, man, goodness. Uh, and
And you'll be in Seattle, and I've heard coffee is there. I've heard they got coffee there.
yeah, uh, I wonder who we're gonna run into this time at their Starbucks.
well, I know Brianna White, Britt Barden, and was Susie Young. The three main characters from Final Fantasy VII are going to be there.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yes.
So
Um.
maybe we'll run into one of them this time.
This
Yes.
Seattle trip is
Um.
sounding better and better.
Did we tell you that we ran into Ben Starr?
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, what?
Hmm.
What?
We literally were in line just waiting for our coffee, and he walked in, and we was just like, wait a minute, is that Ben Star? And then Stephanie,
Hmm.
I love Stephanie. She just like, oh my goodness, that's a Ben Star. And
Hmm.
he started talking to a couple of people, and they stopped talking, and the whole Boss Rush crew just came in,
Oh,
like all seven of us and everything. And he is such a humble and awesome person. And when he said, I don't take things serious, I love making an idiot out of myself, I love being dumb about stuff, I was just like, I love him. Yeah, Ben Starr was amazing. I didn't even know that he was going to be at PAX, and him just walking into Starbucks like a regular person. I'm just like, this is insane. you
Now,
know.
Steph and I knew he was going to be there, so we kept an eye out. Her especially,
Yes.
she eagle-eyed him and is like, Pat, is that him? That's him. That's him. So then, I made sure to get behind him, and once he was done talking to the people he was talking to, I introduced us or him to, the Boss Rush crew. So,
Yeah. I didn't know that Chad Caselmo. He used to be one of the writers and journalists at Destructoid. He then worked for Nintendo. Now he's at Square Enix. I didn't know that he was there doing Dawn Trail. If he was there and I would have saw him, I definitely would have went up to him and said hi. Because I love Chad. He's just literally amazing, and everything. And if he's there at PAX, hopefully I get a chance to say hi to him.
well,
Uh,
I know Corey's going to be on Eagle Eye for Phil Spencer. He's going to be there for one day on the first day because he's the opening remarks person or the
mhm.
storyteller or whatever they call them. So I'm pretty sure he might be on the floor for that day too, hopefully, but
It'd be so fun if he
we'll
just
try.
walked in. If he just normally walked in to where we was at, just like, "Hey guys," I'd be like, "Hello, Mr. Spencer." I would be like, "This is huge," and just like, "Oh, we got to talk to him." I'm like, I don't want to even talk to you about Xbox. I'm not trying to. I don't care about Game Pass. I don't care about anything about that. What I want to know is, it's just like, how was your gaming life as a kid? Like, that's what I want to know about.
I want to know his gaming life now. That's always been like my interest with like these media people and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, how many hours
Oh,
of games do you actually get to
isn't
play?
can't you see all the stuff he plays on Xbox though? Like if
I think yeah, I think you can. He's a public like you
yeah.
can friend him
but
on Xbox.
Also, I want what he had a certain T-shirt for not E3 for his summer direct for the Xbox showcase, and I wanted. I'm probably going to ask him, where can I get some of your custom made Xbox clothes? Because you guys don't sell them, and I kind of wanna. He'll probably laugh about that. I was just like, I know I'm on Nintendo, and I want everything like literally what Anuma wears. I'm like, I want that shirt, and then they'll sell it. I was just like, I wonder for Xbox, where can I get these shirts at? Because they're so cool. Like some of the Xbox fashion is really dope, and I'm just like, I need to order this. I want it.
You know what's funny is I can picture this like a nice or a hockey player getting off the ice and walking to the locker room, like where they run into that kid and then they just like take off their jersey and give it to them. I could just picture that with Phil, just Eddie being like, "I want that shirt," and Phil just takes it off his sweaty back and gives it to
I was just like,
he's probably gonna have some like Eternal Odyssey shirt on, like kind of like hinting at, oh yeah, we're gonna get a new game.
He's
and then,
already know if he already know that I'm just like, you know what? We just need to remake a Lost Odyssey or a sequel. I don't care who you will have to work with to get it done. I know. I told you that we're not going to talk
He's
about
like, no, that he's like, I'm not going back to Odyssey. I'm not going back to Blue Dragon. He said that already because I know that was something people brought up.
I one thing I definitely would give Phil Spencer props for, and I would tell him this if I ever said it. I was just like, how did y'all come up with some of the soundtracks for Forza Horizon 4? Because it's literally one of my favorite Xbox games, and the music in that game is bangers. I don't know who was the music director that chose a lot of these licensed songs, but man, like Forza Horizon 4 is just so good. 5 is okay. I gotta play Motorsport, but like Forza Horizon 4, I'm like, oh, good googly moogly. And Gears 5, that game is ridiculously looking good. I'm like, y'all did this on Xbox One? Really? Insane on how good that game looks.
And then ask Phil Spencer, why is Forza Horizon 4 taken off the store?
Licensing, that's all.
Just say you picked that music. Get the license back up. Pick it again.
So, and definitely I would ask them. I'm just like, thank you for working with Nintendo. And just having I really would just tell them, like, thank you just having a good relationship with Nintendo. Like, I know, I don't care if people call y'all competitors or whatever. I know it's all business and stuff, but I'm like, I love when y'all two work together and stuff comes out. I think it's one of the coolest things in gaming. So I'm like, I would just give them props for that. But everybody, Dragon Age Inquisition and Coffee Talk, Biscuits and Butterflies. So that's what I've been playing. I am gonna get back into some more Nintendo games. But I'm just trying to finish Dragon Age Inquisition, and then I did start Persona 3 Portal on Switch.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be getting back into that. I will say this because I also got Persona 4 Golden. I did beat Persona 3, but I beat Fez. I never got to beat Portal. So I got to see what the changes are for that game. And then
biggest change is the female character. If you're playing Portal, you play as the female main character for Portal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the biggest change. Otherwise, you're just playing Fez again without the ending story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, it's time for Femi News. That was a huge Playboy Power section. I love that. Well, everybody, we got 3 stories for you all. I think now we can say we now know more about Emio because Nintendo has revealed Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club, which is launching on Nintendo Switch in August. This is crazy. This story comes from Nintendo Life. And it reads, after a cryptic teaser that left us all asking who is Emio, Nintendo has given us the answer. Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club, will be bringing the mystery to Switch on August 29th. Now, they did re-release or I should say they did remake these games from the Famicom Detective Club, which came out a couple of years ago. um and I was shocked that this was happening. It's been like 30 years um since there's been a new game in the Famicom Detective Club series. And this is from the creator of Metroid, Yoshio Sakamoto. So literally after he did Metroid Dread, him and his team started working on this game for it. And just to give you guys an idea of what the game is going to be about, they did provide a little bit story rundown of it. It says a student has been found dead. His head was covered with a paper bag with a eerie smiling face drawn on it. Much like the victims of Emio, the Smiling Man, a killer or urban legend who was said to place such a bag over his victim's head. As an assistant private investigator, you are tasked with helping police solve this crime, which is reminiscent of a series of unsolved murders from 18 years ago. Has a serial killer returned, or is this the work of a copycat? Are these crimes inspired by the Smiling Man story or the origins of it? Discover the answers to these questions and more as a member of the Usugi Detective Agency in this intense story of suspicion, isolation, and fragility. Explore an interactive drama full of interesting characters. Continue the adventure of the Utsugi Detective Agency with the return of familiar characters, including the returning protagonist from previous games and Ayumi Tachibana, who is now playable in certain sections of the game for the first time in the series. So, I played the remakes of these games, the Famicom Detective Agency, the Missing Air, and there's another one, and they are like visual novels, and everything, but while also being an adventure game, and which is really good. All of them was voiced in Japanese, with like subtitles, so they're probably gonna do the same thing with this one. Uh, I don't know if you guys played it. I
Yeah.
didn't know about. Oh, you played it, Pat? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't know about the series until they showcased these in the Nintendo Direct, and they were just like, "Oh, it's a new." I thought it was a new series, and they're just like, "No, this is a remake of their old game for the Famicom." I'm like, no one with any Nintendo history has talked about this game at all or the series. I never knew about it.
Yeah, no, it never made it to America until they re-released it for the Switch.
Yeah.
Um, I'm personally excited for Emio. And I even think the marketing was ingenious. Like, I know a lot of people are pissed off because they were thinking it was going to be some super like scary first person or super scary horror game that Nintendo was finally going to throw out there, and it turned out to be the visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope though there are some good quality of life improvements. Like, I want to know how this game looks. I want to know how this plays, because my issue with the original ones was you literally have to, like, you have all these areas you could go to, and you literally have to find the one area with the one person to present the one little piece or press them so many times before it unlocked the ability to move on with the story. That
Yeah.
was tough because it's like, okay, like you literally could go to one area and talk to the person, and then you're like, okay, well, what next? Without realizing that you just need to keep talking to the person to move on. You just end up going to other places, and it's like, I'm stuck. No, you just need to go back and talk to him like a second or third time. Things like
Yeah.
that.
It sounds
That
Yeah.
real annoying.
need to make that a little easier.
What about you, Austin? Have you like seen the trailer that came out last week and then seen the new trailer? Or even as a PlayStation um player, this is kind of Nintendo's very own first M-rated game. Uh, I kind of want to know what your thoughts about it. Because I was just like, I wonder what PlayStation players are going to say about this. I want to actually know also about what Xbox players think about this, about Nintendo having their own M-rated game in America, I should say.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm pissed off, but I would say I would be a little disappointed that it wasn't going to be like the third person or first person horror game, because I love horror games. It's one of my favorite genres of games. It's probably my top three. And I would say, with Resident Evil's been great, but with Silent Hill and Limbo, Alone in the Dark ended up not selling well. Evil Within's gone. It's not coming back, I'm sure. So, with Tango Games being shut down. So, for me, I was like, all right, let's see if Nintendo can bring that horror. I would be so interested in what a Nintendo horror game would be like. That's not Luigi's Mansion, which I no diss. I love Luigi's Mansion. It's one of my favorite Nintendo series. But so when I saw it was a visual novel, I was like, okay. I do remember the Famicom Detective Club games that got remastered. I have them on my
Mhm.
list of games to play. I just haven't. I don't play visual novels unless they're horror or extremely messed up. Danganronpa being one of my favorite series of all time. I love those games. Or Doki Doki Literature Club being one of my favorite visual novels. What was there's another, the people who made Danganronpa made a game for the Switch.
Raincoat,
Uh, Raincoat.
Master Detective Archives.
And I've been waiting on that game because I knew eventually it would be coming to PS5, and it is coming soon, or it may already be there. I'm not
Hmm.
quite sure.
It's
I know
coming soon still.
it's coming soon, so I've been waiting on that one to come to PS5 because I'm trophy boy. But so so I will check this game out. The stuff that Pat is saying about the remakes of the old ones makes me kind of not want to play them. Those that does annoy me.
You might
But
have to find a walkthrough to find the actual pressing points.
yeah,
It's a
that
good
might.
story. The stories are
Yeah,
good, but it's frustrating if you go into it blindly and you're trying to figure out how to get it to move forward.
yeah. And my patience level is low. But I was really excited when the preview came out. I was like, all right, I'm all in. This will be a day one Nintendo. If Nintendo come out with their own like Resident Evil type game, that would be a day one buy for me. I'd be all in
Mhm.
for it. With it being a visual novel, it lessens the excitement, but I am interested, and I think the creature, like the horror character, looks awesome. The screenshots I looked on the store look really,
Mhm.
really cool. So
Yep.
I'd be all down, but being a visual novel, it's not high on my list as much as it would have been if it was
I
something else.
think I think for me it's that, like I was telling Corey, I thought it would be like something Fatal Frame related. That it was going to
Yeah.
be Fatal Frame,
Mhm.
because if we want something horror from Nintendo, they're gonna go outside of it, because I would expect like Eternal Darkness 2. You know, the Eternal Darkness series belongs to Nintendo, even though Silicon Knights developed it. So I would think that, M-rated Eternal Darkness 2 would like be the game or be something like that. But I actually, when I first seen it, I thought it was literally Fatal Frame. It had Fatal Frame vibes to it and
Mhm.
everything. Seeing this uh man in a bag and his like business outfit, it really spoke Japanese horror. So
Mm-hmm.
when I think of that with Nintendo, only thing I could go to is Fatal Frame and everything. But it wasn't that.
You know what
Yeah.
franchise would be good if Nintendo that it's a franchise that I feel like if Nintendo wanted to completely change its direction, it would make a very good horror game. Pikmin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All those giant ass creatures chasing you around trying to survive.
Yeah.
Like watching your
Have a
Pikmin
have
just like get eaten up in like a gory fashion. ripped
Yeah, I was gonna
apart
say
in
have the
shreds. Like,
Pikmin be like a bunch of dead souls, like what are those things from Little Mermaid? You know, like the
yeah, the little like algae creatures or whatever.
yeah, just have a bunch of those instead. I could see
No,
that.
they'd
That'd be
be
good.
they'd
I
become the little ghost Pikmin from number
I
4.
I think that's what Pikmin 4 with the nighttime stuff. It's like I, yeah, I can see that. The Boo just make me laugh. Boo just makes me laugh, but
Oh yeah.
but doing some of the levels, it does get like a little bit frightening. But I think the most frightening thing is the Two Face from Super Mario Brothers 2 in US,
Mhm.
The
where you
mask.
get the key, the mask. Those are the horror elements. Those are the scary thing. Because the thing is about it's just like, why are you chasing me? I want to throw the key. I don't want you on me. And you get the key and it knows where you're at, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I'm trying to get through this door. It's one of the challenges in the NES World
Yeah,
Championship
it's
things.
actually one of the ones they used for um the survival challenge for
Oh,
this week. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. And then when you like later on in the game when you see the locked door and you're like, damn it, there's going to be a key, which means there's a mask. And then when it starts chasing you, just like toss the key just to get it to go away. uh,
So everybody, this Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club will launch on the Switch eShop for $49.99, and there's going to be a physical version, and that was confirmed by Nintendo's US site. But yeah, because the other versions, the remakes, they only got digital. So there's going to be physical one for this. I'm super excited. The crazy thing is that it releases on the day that we leave for PAX.
yeah, maybe we can head over
So
for it.
yeah, so I think, and I don't know if Nitty's gonna be at PAX West. I'll see, but I'm like, I, I, I'm not gonna buy it digitally. I think I'm gonna wait for the physical. But if Nintendo has ended up selling it at PAX or whatever, or if there is a store close to us, like a Target or something that we could go to, I think I would get it there.
I would
I
say
don't know
that'd
what the tax is.
be a perfect game to play on the plane.
Yeah.
A visual novel,
So
little visual novel action.
yes. So well, everybody, we do have some sad news. GoldenEye 007 and Perfect Dark artist Brett Jones has died. Former Rare artist Brett Jones, who worked on the classic N64 games 007 Perfect Dark, has died. Jones' work on classic first-person shooter was wide-range and included concept art and character creation, model rigging animation, and texturing. He would go on to do much of the same work on Perfect Dark, including work on the protagonist herself and leading efforts on the game's memorable motion capture animation. As noted by VGC, designer David Doak shared a screenshot of the game on Twitter, along with the sad news, calling Jones an absolute legend. Um, so yeah, it really, and then you guys could see how he looked on Nintendo Life. They do have a picture of him there and everything. So uh it in the years since leaving Rare, Jones' resume included a host of impressive VFX work across projects including Doctor Who, Fast and Furious 6, and Guardians of the Galaxy. My job is cool, he wrote on his website. I get to work with crazy talented people and add my own drop of talent into the mix. Whether I'm rigging robots, painting scales on dinosaurs, or sculpting a character in ZBrush, there really is no better way to spend a day. So, yeah, that's kind of sad that he passed away. I know a lot of people probably didn't know him. Uh, but with Golden I 007 and Perfect Dark now being on NSO expansion pass for Nintendo 64 and N64 mature, uh he did create some classics, and to see that he went into the work of movies and stuff, that I think that's really cool. But it is a sad loss um, for the gaming and film industry, losing a talented person like this. So, any thoughts, you guys?
Fortunately, I don't really know too much about the person, so I don't have a whole lot to say. It sucks that anyone passes away, but
Yeah.
clearly they did leave their mark in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the first Perfect Dark. I really really like that game. But it just kind of brings humanity to the forefront that like there are people behind all of the games that we play. Um, there's real people with real lives and real family and real problems like everyone else does. And so just remember, if you're listening to Nintendo Pow Block, you probably don't do this. But if you're gonna leave a hateful comment, just don't. Just don't. There's real people behind there. So
Yes.
rest in peace, Brett Jones.
Yes. Well, we're going to move on to our last story. Another sad one, everybody. I'm so sorry. But the Mortal Kombat studio NetherRealm is reportedly facing layoffs. NetherRealm Studios, the developer behind the Mortal Kombat series, is reportedly facing multiple layoffs after select staff members from the studio's mobile team share posts on LinkedIn announcing that they have been put out of work. The NetherRealm mobile team seems to be the most affected by the layoffs, after the branch was reportedly shut down despite working on multiple active live service projects, including Mortal Kombat Mobile, Injustice 2, and Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Tony Lazara, a quality assurance analyst, wrote, NetherRealm's mobile team was shut down. A ton of very talented people were put out of work. Mobile UX designer Rachel Woloski was one of those affected, posting to the job site. I am quite sad to announce that I was one of the mobile team members who was being laid off from NetherRealm Studios. They described their colleagues as incredibly talented, passionate, and collaborative individuals also in the same situation, suddenly looking for a new job. Another quality assurance and analysis, Samantha Edward, shared the same sentiment. Every single person that I work with on that team is an amazing collaborator, they wrote. We're all probably in shock, but a lot of us will be posting something like this today or soon. Elizabeth Ramirez, an animator at the studio, also confirmed that they have been laid off following the closure. It hurts me to announce I've been laid off from NetherRealm Studios after about 10 years of working there. They posted on LinkedIn, I will be seeking new opportunities as an animator for games or film. An estimated 50 people have been put out of work by the closure of the mobile team, according to Insider Gaming. Neither NetherRealm nor its owner, Warner Brothers Games, have commented on the layoffs at the time of writing. So, yeah, this one was really unexpected. With this, so it just seems like the mobile team, they shut down, and all of those people lost their jobs, and that's kind of a growing trend in this business. It's going on. I think what this is the second or third, going on third year of like video game layoffs. Any thoughts, you guys, about this?
Again, it absolutely sucks. Not I can't say I'm not surprised though, just because of how the trending has been this year. Unfortunately, though, I mobile's not the mobile market's not that big in America.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-mm.
I can see why that was the division that definitely got cut the most, but it still sucks. Those were people's livelihoods.
And what about you, Austin?
I'm trying to think of I remember hearing a story about how Resident Evil Village sold on
Apple.
Apple and how really bad it was.
I
So
think it didn't even sell
unfortunately,
like 2,000 copies or something.
I think they said they made like $20,000 total on a game, and with trying to get that game onto a phone that had to cost way more than that. So I don't know the reason. I'm not a big fighting game guy, unless it's Injustice or Marvel versus Capcom. So um, I don't know how Mortal Kombat 1 did. I feel like it did not get the love that Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 got this year for their
Mhm.
new games. So I feel like maybe Mortal Kombat got hurt in that, but I don't know. It's a tough year for gaming and all the game creators, and I know we're gonna get more, unfortunately. So um,
It really feels like, and this might be an expression pass me and Corey might have. It really feels like ever since that Nintendo pulled the dedicated handheld systems like the 3DS and Game Boy lineups, and like ever since that went away, and I'm excluding Switch in this conversation, um, because like ever since they pulled that, it looks like the mobile market has gone downhill because there hasn't been no competition or rate to play. Now, Steam Deck and ROG Ally, that's a different, that's kind of a different thing. But remember when DS came out, everybody thought that like it was going to fail and mobile game was going to be the way. And then DS literally stalled when people actually, when it clicked and it was getting games, people started understanding it. And it looks now that that kind of innovation with DS and 3DS and that's just that kind of gaming handheld has gone away. Mobile just doesn't seem more interesting for a game.
You know, it's really just here in America though, because obviously mobile's huge
yeah,
in
Mm-hmm.
Asia, especially because people are always on the go and they don't have the access to all the systems that we have. Like our friends over in Indonesia, they if they want to play mobile, they have a Steam Deck, you know, and they have a Switch, but they don't have anything like they don't have a PlayStation. I don't think they have Xbox over in Indonesia. Like it's got to be PC or Nintendo or mobile, which is
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of the games tend to get developed
mm.
because it's everyone has a cell phone.
And I think it's the lane of games too. Like mobile is like VR to me, where and like motion games where there's certain game like mobile. What I play on my phone is not a game. I'm not playing Final Fantasy on there. I'm not playing Resident Evil because those are games that I want to sit down and enjoy and not have distractions around. What I use
Yeah.
my phone for is Marvel Snap, like card games or Devolver Tumble Time, like real quick in and out type things. So the phone is not the way to go for that. And same for like VR. VR, I like Beat Saber and stuff like that. I don't really want to
Mm-hmm.
play I don't want to play a whole Horizon game in VR. I don't want a whole experience. It's just kind of cool stuff to do. And so I know Apple wants to get really into it because they want to get those games on Mac too. So it's not just they're thinking about phones in this situation, but it's you know, uh, and and like of course you're talking about the Asian like idle RPGs and stuff like that. Those big microtransactions.
Hmm.
You're not gonna get your Dragon Age Veilguard on there. That's not gonna sell.
Yeah.
it's not gonna be the game.
Maybe if
So
Dragon Age Veilguard was free and you had to buy the character or you had to buy the bowls for the
yeah.
characters, maybe. But no one's buying it for $60 and then doing a gotcha system.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
want the mage? You want to be the mage, Ed? You're gonna have to pay
If you
$30.
want to have the 5-star mage. Mm-hmm. Not the
Oh,
4-star garbage.
I'm good. I'll just play VV in Final Fantasy 9 and just get them high level. I'm good. Uh, so, well, before we get into our next section, I gotta give a shout out to Shane Kelly. He made a maple ginger sticky tofu dish,
Oh,
and it looks amazing. So I wanted to shout him out. I kind of missed shouting him out for Snacktendo, but great work, Shane. Your meal looks amazing. The way that it was plated, great A, great A.
is
So
that
just
on
wanted to give
Discord, Ed?
Shane.
Can I see that on Discord or is that on?
It's on his Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna go look it up now.
So
I gotta see what's going on.
yeah.
I miss Shane.
So
I haven't touched Shane in a while either.
I know I love him and I miss him too. Um, but we got a boss rush banter, and this one comes from Sam Reader. His boss rush banner: should we leave games uncompleted? And you guys go to bossrush.net to read his banter and give it a really good read. Leave some comments. Let him know what your thoughts on this topic. So I kind of want to ask you guys, like, what makes you leave a game? Um, and give me just two reasons why you would leave a game. Also, I'm gonna start with you. What are two reasons that you would leave a game
Two
uncompleted?
reasons I would
should say.
leave a game uncompleted. Well, so now when you say complete, is this meaning roll credits, or is this
Uncompleted.
mean
That you
does this
never
mean, like,
finished the game at all. You
okay?
got to a point and you dipped off.
I would say the biggest one is time, especially with open world games. Far Cry 6 being a thing that could happen. You know, eventually I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I've done the same thing over and over again. There's nothing going on. There's nothing, no new abilities I'm excited about. Let's just get through the story and be done. If the story's bad and I'm feeling that point, there, and it really depends on how much I have invested. Like I remember one time, Mad Max on PS4. I had put so much time in that game. The game is fine, but I was like, all right, I'm this close to the platinum. Let's just keep going. And then 20 hours later, I was still going on that game. I was like, man, this game is taking forever. And then I had a broken bug where I couldn't get one item, and then I made sure that game never existed on my PlayStation ever again because it made me that mad. So stuff like that would be a killer for me. I've dropped games before that I knew that I would come back to, like say Starfield, for example. That was a game that I dropped because the whole time I was playing it, I was like, I kind of wish I was playing Skyrim or Fallout instead. Not a diss to the game. Like it had some interesting ideas, but I'm like, I don't think they finished this. I don't think it's finished the way they wanted it to go. So I'm just going to drop it now and I'm going to come back because how many new characters have I made on Skyrim and Fallout? Dozens. So I know starting a second character on Starfield will be totally fine. So if I feel like the game is not worth my time, it's taking too long, that would be the one. And then the second one is just if I'm like, I don't feel like it's at its full potential. And some of those games I don't come back to. I'm trying to think of the last game I really dropped. I really like to commit to games and finish them. Some I do drop because of difficulty. I eventually get to a point on platformers where I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. I think I'm done. There's some levels in Cuphead that almost made me just pull my hair out. So I get to those points eventually, but I really try to see. I'd say I'd finish, especially within the last 4 or 5 years. I probably finished 80% of the games that I put at least a few hours into. If I put only 2 hours into it, I don't even count it. That's just like, that's just whatever. So.
Okay. What about you, Pat? What two reasons do you leave a game uncompleted?
My biggest reason is if a game frustrates me and I'm not finding it fun anymore. That is the easiest reason for me to just leave a game unfinished. And honestly, the other reason is I think something else that caught my attention is just kind of pulled my interest away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
good point.
Especially when it comes when like you get multiple releases like all at once. It's like you're playing something and then I'd like to at least try my new stuff, and keep myself relevant. And then, like, within a week, I decide whether I keep going with that game or go back to what I'm, really like was trying to focus on. Like, I give those games a benefit. So there are times though where it's like, okay, this new game has pulled me in, and now I want to push on with this one before I go back to another one or the other one.
Okay.
Yep.
For me, it's definitely if a game feels like a washing machine game and they keep doing the same thing over and the main character is annoying and, and it's designed that way in a sense. Red Dead Redemption 2. Um
Whoa.
I
Damn.
literally just be like, this is annoying. And I was just like, you know what?
You had the
Go ahead.
first letter right and the last number right. It's Rage 2. Rage 2 was a game like that I was like, I got 5 hours into that and busted many enemy camps, and I'm like, I feel nothing from this game. Like,
So,
people say
you know what?
Ubisoft games are dull. This game is the
Huh?
dullest game I've ever played.
So-
it was pretty
Rage-
dull.
So yeah, Rage 2 is a washing machine game. I will give you that. But I think it's just like when you get the shotgun and you start playing it like Contra, it gets a little bit fun. Or you're able
Little
to
bit.
get through it. Trust me.
You got-
I got through Rage. Trust me, I got through Rage 2. I know it's a washing machine game, but I got through that game and kind of being creative with some of the kills and stuff. But I got through that game. It's okay. It's not bad, even though it is a washing machine game. Red Dead Redemption 2, and this is not going to be no hate on to Rockstar, but it really got annoying with this main character. Leave. If you want to leave, leave. You keep complaining about that. All of this stuff is happening. You could just get up and leave if you want to, but you keep helping out everybody. And this is the mission structure that was just, designed, and it was just like, I got to spend 15 minutes listening to some narrative that don't play a part in this game, and it just got really, really annoying. And I was just like, I got to take this off my system. Like this. I mean, I'll go back and finish it because I got to the point where the main character gets captured and everything, and I think is he naked in that one? I don't.
Yeah,
think
he
so.
gets naked.
Okay, so yeah, and I was just like, this nonsense, like, so when that happens, I kind of just like get zoned out, and then when it gets really boring and I'm not paying attention, I just take it off my system. I'm like, I'll come back to this, but I'm like, I'm not going to finish this at all. Secondly, definitely bad gameplay for me. If I know these controls are not good in this game, I'm not about to suffer through them. I almost took same thing with you, Austin. I almost took off Mad Max on my PS4.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that game was good though. Really?
It was good. It was good, but the controls were just so bad. And then I had frame rate issues. And the thing about it is that it dropped to I would be playing in 30 frames per second and it would drop to 5. And so I'm moving in slow motion in it. And the thing about it is that the copy that I had always been in plastic because I was just like, it became one of my backlog games. I put it into my PlayStation 4, never took the CD out or anything. And when it got close to the end of the game, it's just the frame rate just lisply dropped. And I'm like, oh, I cannot do this. But somehow I stuck with it. It fixed itself and I beat the game. But I was this close of taking that game off my system because of the bad gameplay and some of the mechanics and technical issues. Like when all of that stuff happens, I'm like, I cannot do this at all. I told Corey that with Destiny 1, I had to force myself because that game, like the gameplay wasn't good at all with that and stuff. With some of its design and everything, and I'm just like, this is literally just getting annoying, and it's just getting bad. But I stuck with it for Destiny, and I beat it. After I beat it, I took it off the system until some of the DLC came back. But I quickly took that game off. It was taking too much space, and I knew I wasn't going to return after I finished it. So yeah, that's when I believe a game, um, incomplete and everything. So, what do you guys? What would be your one solution to tell somebody? You know what? Let's say we gave them a game recommendation. What would we tell them to make them continue the game until they get to the end and complete it? What one thing would you tell them? Pat, I'm going with you.
It gets better after 20 hours. Just kidding. Just kidding. Honestly, I don't know if I would say anything. I don't want to force a bad game experience on people. Because to me, the idea is to escape or to have fun and enjoyment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you are really not enjoying a game, then don't play the game. You know, it's there are better things out there. There's many more choices out there to play. Play one of those.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Austin?
And give them patience, because maybe they'll come back.
But it does get better after 20 hours. Trust me.
I know Ed's still upset with me on this, but I just can't do Xenoblade. I just can't. I did the first game and I just can't do it. I just get so bored.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I know what kind of gamer you are, and I know what Xenoblade is, and that's not your style of gaming. I respect that. I'm not mad at that.
I don't even know if that's necessarily true, because I've played other games like it, and I do like other games like it. It's just, I think it was all the side quests at the very beginning that just was like, oh my gosh, there's so much shit that I do not care about. Like,
yeah, if you don't like that, you're not going to enjoy any of the other ones, because that's the same with everyone.
I've almost considered just looking up a lore video and watching the watching just for the story, because the story sounds interesting. Like, I know what the world's kind of like about, and that sounds awesome. But the game itself, I'm just like, and it doesn't help that, like, what would you say the combat's closest, like Final Fantasy 12 and 12 Final Fantasies?
It has an MMO art. Well, it has an MMO feel to it.
Yeah, it's got a cooldown feature. Like, your idea is to use your skills, wait for the cooldown to end, and then use it again.
Yeah. And that's just kind of like, it's just one of those. I don't know. It's one of those games that to me, like, I don't want a game pressured on me, so I don't really pressure games on everyone else. I wouldn't tell Ed to keep playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I would just say, if you want to have fun, don't even do the story. You can I have a lot of fun not doing the story. I mean, I think the story's good as far as like a Western goes, but I have the most fun getting wild and doing wild stuff in the game, despite the bad controls. I'll agree with you there, Ed. I know. Rockstar Games, get your controls under.
I played 2 hours straight in that game.
Playing poker.
I needed to end all my opponents.
Well, we got inspired, and we actually, like, me and my buddies started playing poker with coins, like, and we were betting like just like pennies and nickels and stuff like that, and we just got really into it. It's a lot of fun. But so I think if someone said, I don't get this game, like Corey does not like BioShock. And I would say, I can understand that because there are times like I have played that game dozens of times. It's my
Mhm.
favorite franchise of all time. But I can understand because as soon as I get to one of the water puzzles, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do these water puzzles. I just want to get through the game. So I understand that, but I would just say, you know, see it for what it is. I mean, it's just a it's just a good story. Like, and I would just like blast through it. I use auto hacks as soon as you get auto hacks. Just keep going, whatever. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. Just look up a spoiler. You know.
Uh, for me, I think of to get someone to like continue to play a game that I recommend to them. I really to them. I'd be like, let's have a talk about that game, and let's see where you don't like it and everything, and then have a discussion and kind of get to it and make it feel like almost like a book club kind of thing. Because even if I had to return to that game and everything, I would want to experience that game with them to get what they're to understand why they don't like it or why they feel like they're going to give up. And then uh also sometimes I would like make commentary on it, like make it known on social media your frustrations and everything, and do it sarcastically. I So with Destiny 1, the first Destiny, I did a journal for it. And every day that I played it, I would do like a week column of what I played. And I would make it sarcastic and everything, like make it funny, but I would comment on what I was experiencing with it. And when I finally got to the end of the game and I finished Destiny, I wrapped up my journal and I said, it is what it is, and I took the game off and everything. So I kind of will like be like, let's talk about it. Let's try to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And once you get to the end, if you finish the game, if you complete it, great for you. You might understand why I would like it and made that recommendation. But if it's not gelling with you, but yet you worked hard to get through it because you want to see how it ends for yourself without looking on YouTube or anything, then you can just like, I experienced it. That was good enough for me. I'll never play games like this again.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is I would want to know what the person is like not into. Uh, like two examples. If someone doesn't like JRPGs, I'm not gonna like recommend like I Am Setsuna or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A real downer JRPG. But I might say if you like anime and teenage drama and stuff like that, then and a life simulator, then like Persona could be a
Do
game for
you
you.
like anime titties?
Yeah. And if you play those games, you're like, oh, I can deal with JRPGs. Then you get them into like something else along the way.
It's
The
like,
other
let
way
me tell
is
you, Neptunia.
now let
or
me
any
show
of those
you
other-
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Now, oh,
Have
good
some
goody.
tea.
Now,
Have some tea.
I would clock some people about stuff like that to be like, okay, so you don't like JRPGs, but you do play a lot of games that have those elements in it. And so that's what I think. That's where I kind of get confused in everything. That I can understand people don't like grinding,
Yeah.
but if they're playing like a live online service, most of the time you're grinding in that game. You're working hard to get the best. So what is it about this game in this genre you like, but another game who has the same elements, but it's just in another genre you don't like, and that's the ones that you leave uncompleted. It's very weird.
Yeah. And if they say it's something like if they say like simply like, oh, I need action, then I'm like, I get it, because you don't want to just be picking which you don't want to think really the strategy part. You just want to keep your skill going. You want to play Devil May Cry or something like that, and I
Yes.
totally understand that. But there's other ways you can get Madden. Madden is a RPG. People don't think about it that way. I explained when I was in high school. My friend who didn't like any sports, I said, "You do know that football is basically just a turn-based RPG, right?" And then I started, pointing things out to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is just this is just like an RPG." I'm like, "Yeah, everyone's got their own special skills. You pick two different sets at one time, you play it out. There is of course physical attributes to it, but it really is just like a chess game. It's like any other
Yeah.
strategy type game."
I wouldn't
I
call
think
it
that's why.
turn-based. I'd call it a tactical RPG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe an
I think
RTS.
I think that's why I get on Soul players to be like, I love hard challenging games, and then I'm like, okay, so you will play a Souls game, but won't touch, something like Ghosts and Goblins and everything,
yeah.
and they
I
be
would
like,
say that you like challenging games, but you don't like 2D challenging games. So it's not like you like all challenging games. You just like this certain type of challenge games. You
mm,
just
The big difference between a Souls and Ghosts and Goblins is the progression. Ghosts
yes,
and Goblins puts you right back at the beginning.
yeah,
Souls is wherever the last bonfire you touched. But you keep your level, you keep your items, you just lose your souls. Unless you go and grab them again.
my
So
I think,
Ghosts and Goblins would be a little more
I
challenging.
I wish Corey was on this episode because every time he talks about roguelike games, I'm like, what happens in Mario when you lose all your lives? You start at the beginning. Roguelite is just that, except every time you get started at the beginning, you have stronger weapons.
it's still
Uh,
not his cup of tea.
I'm not. I know that, but I'm just saying it's not a. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You just gotta look at it from a different angle. Play the Ninja Turtle game, Corey. I'm not gonna tell you twice. Also,
That is how you
sec-
convince them to play a game. You hold them against their will.
exactly. That's how you do it. The second thing is if people just are totally wrong about a game. Last of Us 2. People had so many things told to them that this was this and this game and this game about the story. I'm like, did you play it? Did you play it? Listen, that game is insane. We lost Ed again.
It's okay. We're still going.
I tell, Pat, you've played Last of Us Part 2.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
I I'm like, I tell people that game is great because I hate things that happen in that game. But it's like watching a
Mhm.
movie where my favorite characters, stuff is happening to them that I don't like.
Yeah,
And you experience that even more because you I can't spoil it, but you're the one causing it. And
yeah,
you're the one
I would
receiving it
fully
at the
agree.
same
A
time.
lot of the main characters' issues were of their own creation. So
Yeah. And so but people, want to get bent up on certain things that they said were in the game and not really in the game. And it's just like, that's one thing that I can just cut dry and be like, no, that's not what that is. That's not it.
no, I would say it's definitely something worth experiencing. Like even if you experience it and you still don't like it, you at least experienced it in
Mm-hmm.
that case. Like Last of Us Part 2 is a hard game, not like challenging, but it's a hard it deals with hard topics and it's something that you probably don't play necessarily for the enjoyment. You played it for the
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah. I actually, and that actually, now that I think about Last of Us Part 2, I played it differently than I played 1, where 1 I played it more like a survival and was like really trying to sneak around. And in 2, I just went hog wild and just like I didn't even try
It's
sneaking
like
around.
my rage consumed me.
I'm just gonna like go. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna start firing. I'm not gonna try to sneak around. I'm gonna have to run and dodge it. And I had more fun playing the game that way than I did sneaking around. Um, so maybe that's another thing too that you can tell people, like if you're just playing a game, play a game a different way. You know, a strategy game, there's multiple ways you can play it. A JRPG, there's probably a better way to play it, but you can always do different builds and stuff like that.
And despite what people say in Souls games, there are different ways to playing it.
Yeah,
but if you don't play it naked and with the stick, then you're playing it wrong. But there are other ways to play it.
Yeah, I play magic builds. I full on just be like, hey, look, I'm here to just have fun. I just want to knock down some bad guys and see some like Bloodborne. I just love the aesthetic of the whole game. I don't care how I beat it. I just want to see it. I would watch it if I couldn't play the game. You know, I would just watch someone play it. I accidentally loaded my last save, and I lost all 3 of those hours.
Oh no!
And I was like, ugh. And so I haven't been back since that Saturday. But I have that game so like, as soon as I get to the level, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. And so it doesn't take long. It's just really annoying.
Yeah, especially because you got all the collectibles.
Well, everybody, that was a good banter that we had, a good discussion. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Austin. We're going to get into PAK Watch. We just got only 2 games. Coming on July 25th is Arranger. Arranger, a world-puzzling adventure, follows the story of Gemma, a small-town misfit on a journey of self-discovery. Venturing out beyond her stiffening cozy confines, she finds an expiring world, but also one ruled by fear and a strange, immovable, static force. Can she disrupt a culture of stagnation and find a place to fit into it? Gameplay takes place on a unique, interconnected grid that spans the entire world, snappily uniting movement, exploration, and combat. When Gemma moves, the world moves with her, creating both a playful sense and chaos in a regular stream of small, thoughtful puzzles that twist and play with the central mechanic. Also on July 25th, Mist of Noya. Mr. Noya is a survival game with many RPG elements. Fight factions that evolve over the days and bizarre monsters that will terrify you at night. Strengthen your base by rescuing survivors from around the world. You start in an abandoned fort that has been attacked and destroyed by corruption, and you'll have to explore the world to find the inhabitants who have managed to escape the attack to rebuild the fort and return to war. During the day, you'll have to collect resources such as wood, iron, gold, special ores, plants, food, and search for lost inhabitants of the ancient fort. During the night, you'll have to build defensive towers, regroup with the fallen inhabitants, and protect yourself. Every full moon, the demons lash out at your fort and get stronger with each attack. So those are the 2 games that you guys could look forward to. Check them out on the eShop. And I know Arranger, they showed that in Nintendo Direct, and for an Indie Direct, I'm definitely picking up that game. It looks really interesting. And if you guys check these games out or anything,
I do have an interest in Arranger. And I've heard from one of our recent guests on the Boss Rush podcast that he liked it, so I can't wait to check it out. I just don't know when I'm going to get to check it out. There's still a billion other games that came out this week that I need to check out.
Yeah. I might get to Arranger. I played a game sort of similar to it called Carto, which is about a cartographer where you change the map basically. And that game was pretty cool. So maybe I'll check out Arranger, but yeah, there's way too much on my list for me to get to it anytime soon.
Yes. So those are the games that are coming out, so you guys could check them out. We didn't get no questions for question block, but I really want to thank you, Austin. I want to thank you, Pat. Thank you guys for joining me on this hectic ride of Nintendo Pow Block. Great discussions. Austin, where can people find you?
You can find me at PlayStation on X. Ooh, X. And Instagram and whatever. I don't really post a whole lot. Add me on PlayStation at PlayStation. That's where I spend most of my time anyways, on the PlayStation. And if you want my Switch code, get into the Boss Rush Discord, right? So yeah,
Yes.
that's where you can find my Switch code. That's an exclusive perk of joining the Boss Rush Discord. You get my Switch code.
Yes. And Pat, where can people find you?
Well, I am part of the Boss Rush Network. I am a regular on the Boss Rush podcast as well as After Dark, and I am the host of the Boss Rush Book Club, which releases every month. Currently, we have out Stray for our patrons, but that will be released shortly to everyone else here starting next month. Other than that, you can find me on the X Twitterverse at Auditor415.
All right. And yes, guys, thanks for listening and or watching Nintendo Pow Block, which is part of the Boss Rush Network. If you enjoyed our discussions, please do subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast application. You can support us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Any tier grants you early access to all of our podcasts. Follow us on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Network. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye.
Yay.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Deering, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.